Hey guys, I'm Nicole.
I'm Vanitha.
And welcome to our channel.
So today we're going to be starting a new series on our channel, and it's going to be one about relationships with boys, crushes, like all that good stuff.
We thought it'd be really fun to do a series. We're not sure what we're going to call it yet. Probably like Relationships 101. We thought we would do a video all about
when you like a guy, what do you do? Like when you have a crush on him.
Yeah, and then talking about like maybe the process, because you know we've both been through those situations before.
Yeah, because it's awkward to talk to them, or like maybe you don't have their number or something and you want it.
Yeah, so if you're somebody out there, girl or guy, that is currently crushing on somebody, maybe trying to figure out how to take it to the next step, keep on watching.
Okay, so for step number 1 is meeting them. So for me, like, I know I liked this guy, but I didn't like super duper know.
Vanitha liked a guy.
Because sometimes you think a guy is cute, but you don't necessarily know them. But I say that if you think a guy is cute and you want to shoot your shot, you just have to go for it.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. For me, it's like, I'm more of like, I feel like I don't like specifically pursue guys, but sometimes when it's like in class or something, or you meet them like mutually, you kind of like look at someone and then you'll be like,
I feel like, I don't know why, but sometimes you stare at someone and you think they're super duper cute and you like gain a crush on them.
I know, I agree. Because most of the time, like, I think we're the same, where it's like we don't seek out somebody.
Yeah.
Like we're not like specifically looking for somebody. It's more like you just meet them by chance. So the next step, number 2, we think is catching feelings for someone. When you first feel, when you talk to them, you feel like that flutter in your chest.
Yeah, your hands get clammy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like you can't stop like touching your hair.
Oh, and then I feel like I don't know how to talk to them properly, which is like a big thing.
That's the thing. It's like you start out like talking to somebody normally, and then as you get to like them, you feel like your like thoughts and like your sentences are like less coherent.
Yeah, it's weird.
You become more nervous, and then you're scared to say something wrong in front of them, or you're scared to like come off badly because you want them to like you, obviously. So, you know.
But then that leads us to step number 3, which is talking to them. Okay, for me, I know I've had crushes on guys, and I like just couldn't approach them at all. Even though like I remember I had a crush on this one guy, and she would try to force me to talk to him, but I like couldn't do it.
But during lunchtime, we would go in high school, and then we would just kind of walk past him back and forth, and it was really obvious.
And then sometimes he would stare at me and would be like, "Oh my god, he like looked at me."
Yeah, I know.
You know, just because he's looking at you doesn't mean he thinks you're cute.
True. Okay, so what pointers do we have for those girls and guys out there who are trying to maybe connect with somebody that they want to connect with? Maybe they haven't connected with them yet, or they feel like it could become something, but they don't know how to take it, where to go.
Well, I would say that a good one's like if you have a mutual friend, like, and if you can trust that mutual friend enough, like try to get them to introduce you.
Ooh, yeah. Or get them to like get the lowdown on that person, because it's nice if like somebody else knows. So like if I liked a guy that she knew or like was mutual friends with, then I want her to like let me know what she knew about him. Yeah. You know, like, oh, like he's like this way, or he's that way, or like he's like looking for a relationship, or he's with somebody else. You know, like you want to know all those things beforehand.
If you do have a class with them, is like, if you're like Facebook friends or something, just like message them. Because I know someone did this to me and they had a crush on me. And I like didn't think anything of it, so it worked. Is that you text them and you'd be like, hey, like what was the homework? Or like, can you help me with this? Or like, what's the test gonna be on? Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
and it's super casual, and I feel like people aren't gonna think too much of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that goes into another thing, another big topic that we can talk about, which is how to flirt over texting with somebody, like a new guy or girl that you're interested in. Okay, let's see. Because I feel like I do end up texting a good amount when I first am interested in someone. Like, I'm not the kind of person to text a lot. Like, I'm not on social media a bunch and stuff, but if I like somebody, I make it known by like texting them pretty often. There's also like, so there's this weird social thing where it's like you have to balance the like attentiveness from like being too much. Yeah. Like you don't want to text him or her super often, right? To like the point where like they get annoyed, or like it seems like you're not doing anything. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Don't be like the moment they text you, text them back real quick.
Yeah.
And it's like they take another like hour to reply.
Yeah, and it's not like we're just talking about like, oh, that's just the code, like just the thing to do. Like, of course, if you want to text somebody, then you can text them if you want.
Yeah.
But there's comes to a point where like you have to give people space to breathe.
Yeah.
And people don't want to feel like they're being attacked by like tons and tons of questions or like information. So if you're texting somebody and you feel like they're not reciprocating like the same amount of like effort that you're putting into it, then maybe it's like a sign that you should maybe back away a little bit and see if they feel comfortable with the situation.
Yeah. Well, if you're trying to flirt with someone, I would also just try talking about things that are in common with you guys. And going like off of that big stuff, because I know when I was texting the guy who's now my boyfriend, we were both in Greek life, and we would talk about like parties and stuff, like what our sororities or frats are doing. Then would be like, oh hey, we should like meet up at this or that, which I think is like a good thing to go off of.
Yeah, for sure. Finding things that you can, like if you're too scared to set up something in just the two of you guys, a group setting, like, oh, let's all go see this movie that came out, or let's all go to this party, or grab food somewhere or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so that's a way for it to feel less like a one-on-one pressure and more of like you're in a group, and so you can get to know them in like a bigger setting.
Yeah.
Right. So another thing I feel like with like texting while flirting, for me, I find that I do that a good amount because it's quite scary for me to flirt in person with somebody that I'm interested in, you know, as it is with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so for me, I try and like show them little ways that I'm like interested in them when I text them. So it's like maybe like texting them good morning and texting them good night, or asking them how their day is going, or like, you know, just being like very interested in asking a lot of questions about them, and then hoping that they ask questions about you in return.
Yeah, I feel like a big thing, which a lot of my friends have come up to me when they're trying to get a conversation going.
Yeah.
Is like asking each other questions, like even if it's a small question, be like, what's your major, or what classes are you taking, and you just keep on asking questions, because I feel like that's how the conversation flows the best.
Right, yeah. And then if you guys really click in the way that you're supposed to, then the conversation should flow naturally.
Yeah. So another one is, how do you get a girl or a guy's number if you like them? So for me, I remember I had a crush on this one guy, and I didn't have his number, and we neither of us had Facebook back then, so I like didn't know how I would like text him after like school and stuff like that. And my friends were like, you just gotta ask him. Because I remember I would like ask her and ask my other friends, and they were like, you just have to ask him, which is true. Like, there's no other way it's gonna happen. And like, I feel like in those kind of situations, you're gonna be overthinking it, because they're not gonna be like, oh, she wants my number, like she likes me, like she wants to like do stuff with me, or you know, whatever. It's just like a small thing.
Yeah.
And then I remember like, so I like finally gained the courage to ask this guy for a number, and he's like, yeah, I've been like wanting to ask you the same thing. So I was like, ah! So you just like never know. You just gotta go for it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
And then if you have the option, once again, maybe getting it from somebody mutual, like maybe they can, if you're really too scared, having them ask that person if they can give their number to somebody else, maybe. I mean, it can be a bit daunting, but also it's like a way to be direct. Be like, I'm interested in you, not just like, I want to be friend zoned by you or something. Even if you do get their number and whatever. So.
Yeah. And also remember that people like confidence. They like it when you're confident.
I think it's like finding the balance between being direct, but then also knowing when to kind of like chill and just let things happen.
Yeah.
And then when you find that sweet spot, then everything will go as planned. Okay, what about this? What about the topic of being friend zoned? Let's say you like a friend.
I feel like it's always tough liking a friend.
Yeah.
But then maybe make it known to them that you're like a little interested in them, but not like crazy, you know. And so I would just like try hanging out with them one-on-one. I guess I would try like texting them more, just being like more on the flirty side, hanging out with them. Maybe try asking your friends about it, because they would also know about, like, if you hang out in a friend group or whatever, about the person that you like, if they would have any feelings for you or anyone else. They would probably know.
Yeah. I know it's a scary thing too, because it's like, let's say the feelings are mutual, like the thought of like breaking up and then losing the friendship, not only the relationship, is very scary, but then at the same time it's also like kind of worth it. I mean, it depends on you. Like, if you feel like you kind of like have a crush on a friend and then you're not sure and you just want to stay friends, then it's okay to stay friends.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to jump into everything you feel.
Yeah.
But if you really truly like somebody, then I think that it's okay. And I think if your friendship is strong enough, then it should be able to last through that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe another one's going about how do you deal with someone who likes you and you have like no intent of liking them back? Because I know that's happened to me where a guy's really liked me, but I haven't really liked them back. And I feel like I handled it the wrong way. So I would take, you know, I have like good advice now about how to go that way.
Yeah, I've handled it wrong way as well.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're young, you don't know how when you're young, you don't know how to handle it in a way where you guys both come out not feeling as hurt.
Yeah. I feel like the rule number, like the first thing you should do, the first major rule is like don't drag it on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's definitely what I did. And it just makes the situation like 10 times more worse in the end.
Yeah, I think it's also, it's like if you feel that somebody likes you and then you're scared to bring it up because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
So you drag it.
Yeah.
And that just hurts them more in the end because then they develop more feelings. I think that you feel the same way when you really don't.
Yeah. So how would you go about handling someone who doesn't like, or who likes you and you don't?
With people that I found early on, that I think that like me, if I really don't view them in the way, like I try and be an open-minded person, right? So I don't want to like cut everybody down and just be like, you can't like me and we can never be anything.
Yeah.
But if I really don't feel the attraction or I've known them for a while and nothing's really happened, the way that I handle it is I kind of just like, I don't want to tell them directly because they haven't said anything to me.
Yeah.
So if somebody's like liking you and then you just kind of go to them and like you're like, I don't like you, like that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right. So the way that I do it is I suggest we hang out in ways that are very friend-like, and I refer to them as a friend very often.
Yeah.
I mean it might still hurt in the end, but it's better for me that way, to be honest in that respect. Yeah, but if they're not getting the little clues, what would you do?
I would say like in my situation, I had like other friends telling me that he liked me.
Right.
And I feel like I would tell, like if I could go back in time, I would tell them and be straight up and be like, oh hey, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Like if there's any way you could like break this, or be like, oh I'm not interested in him, or maybe I'm interested in a different guy and I don't want to like go for a different, like another guy, you know what I mean? And I would try telling like the mutual friends of ours and being like, if they know, like to tell him that maybe it's something that he shouldn't pursue and it's probably not going to work it out.
Yeah, I think it's because I feel like some people might say like, oh, you should tell them straight on. But I think if it's somebody that hasn't come to you first with those feelings,
that's super awkward.
It's hard. Yeah. And like, you want the message to come across, so any way that it does, I think is good. And I feel like maybe hearing it from other people also maybe saves them the embarrassment. Yeah. If they did confess to you and then you didn't feel the same way. So hopefully some of our tips and our little experiences helped you guys in your own situations. We tried to like go over the basics and what we thought that, you know, people would want to hear and talk about. But you know, if there's anything that we missed, anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know down in the comments below.
Okay, so next week we're talking about first dates, how to like get to a first date, what good first dates are, what to talk about on a first date, all that jazz.
So basically everything you ever need to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy it, please like, comment, and subscribe. We post videos every week. So tune in next week. Bye!